when removing the sense of reality from a photograph, you rob the viewer from the opportunity to experience what you experienced when shooting that photograph. And those film emulations do just that. Hi, I'm Shaul. In the past decade or so, film has had a revival, especially among young people who never had the opportunity to shoot film in their lives. They were born in the mid-80s or 90s. And when they started photography, it was with digital. So film has an aura of nostalgia for them. Nostalgia is a funny term because usually it refers to an experience that was once and was lost. But for them, it's an external thing. I shot film exclusively for about 15 years before the first digital cameras appeared. And I must tell you, it was a pain. You did not have the immediate gratification digital technology gives you. You couldn't see your results on a screen right after you made a photograph. You have to wait for a few days or a week before you got your prints back and had an opportunity to see them. We plebeians, I was a young man then, did not really shoot on expensive professional film stock. We had to do with films like the Fujifilm C200 or the Kodak Gold, which were not bad in themselves, but they always had some color cast. They never looked real. They never looked like what you experienced with your own eyes outside. Perhaps I should clarify this point. Color film came in only two color temperatures. There was film that was optimized for daylight, for 5600K, and film fit for internal tungsten lighting that had a color temperature of 3200K, I think. That was all the options you got. On a cloudy day, shooting with a daylight film, the photos you got looked a little bit cold, so you had to use a correcting filter. I used the 81B filter, which has a golden brownish color that corrects for this cooler effect of cloudy days by warming the color up. When I shot with a daylight film indoors, where there was tungsten light, I had to use a different filter, 82B filter, and that cooled the light temperature. So you got acceptable color balance. However, most film users never bothered to correct the light temperature according to their film stock specifications. So most color photographs you see in your old family albums are a little bit off. That could be corrected by using flash, but I never liked using flash. Direct flash has an artificial effect. It gives things close to the camera a brightness that looks out of place. In the 1960s and 70s, negative film was not quite mature yet. A lot of photographs from this era look quite washed out. They look pale. Colors are inaccurate. There is often a magenta cast. It is apparent, especially in the blue sky. The only decent results were obtained from shooting slide film. But slide film had a limited dynamic range, so you really had to know what you were doing. You had to have a certain skill in setting the right exposure settings in order for the outcome to look acceptable. The development and the printing of color film was quite an elaborate process. It was not available to anyone. It was in the realm of professional photographers who shot for magazines or in studios. Negative film came of age in the 1980s. Then even more affordable film types had a deeper color. They looked more similar to what you can see with your naked eyes. But even then, in the 80s and 90s, there was this problem of warming or cooling the light a little bit to match the color temperature specifications of the film. In that era, electronic flash became a more common technique because cameras started supporting TTL metering. And a lot of the published photography you can see online from those years were indeed shot with flash. Of course, different color film stocks had different accents to the color profile. Each color layer gets its own characteristics, its own contrast. So naturally, there are differences between the contrast level of yellow, magenta, and cyan. The result is there is no singular film look. Each film stock looks a little bit different in differing lighting conditions. Kodak film used to look a little bit warmer, a little bit better optimized for southern light, while Fujifilm made film stocks that are more Japanese in nature. They are a little bit cooler, more neutral. Even that is a gross generalization. When digital took over, camera manufacturers tried to emulate the natural perception of color. They did not necessarily try to emulate the look of one film stock or another. The possibility to use automatic white balance was a great achievement. Early cameras prioritized color reproduction over making the most of the sensor's dynamic range. So JPEG's images tended to be quite sensitive to clipping highlights and blocking shadows. In cameras like my Nikon D700, there is a great difference in dynamic range when you shoot JPEG or RAW. There's quite a lot of information that can be retrieved out of the RAW files. But often when you try to do it, you lose some of the pleasing color balance of the JPEG files. Later on, priorities changed, of course. JPEG files were given more dynamic range at the expense of color accuracy. Nowadays, JPEGs look okay, but there is no extra effort put into them. So they look quite bland. Camera manufacturers assume that each RAW file is going to go through some processing on a computer. So the priority has shifted to make the file as malleable as possible, to contain as much tonal information as the HDR-like look of photos made by modern cameras and by phones. It's a little bit removed from what we are used to see with our eyes. Many young photographers want their images to look more natural, more authentic, if you want. And what is better than trying to give them a film look, as if there was something like that? A culture of film emulation has been flourishing. Maybe it was promoted by manufacturers like Fujifilm, who is trying to revive the look of its old film stocks. Despite those emulations not being very faithful to the Instagram in its early days also offered some presets that look a little bit like what you would expect from photographs shot on film, that could be slapped over your phone photos. To my eyes, those emulations or presets, whatever you wish to call them, are anything but authentic, because they are highly stylized. They are very different from our experience of looking at the world. They are very different from the colors we are used to see with our naked eyes. They often exaggerate the casts, the deviations from the natural perception of colors that film manufacturers at the time used to fight with. They always tried to minimize them through the chemistry of film. A photograph, in its essence, is a vessel. It is made to convey something you observe or something you feel to the viewer. It should be as transparent as possible, or at least reflect your intention. These days, photographs are made to be beautiful objects, but photography, being a mechanical, objective process, it is best suited to serve as a medium, as a vessel to pass experiences or the looks of things. I would even argue that packaging a photograph in an aesthetic that removes it from its realistic look might rob it of some of its meaning. Qualia is a concept in philosophy that describes the indirect experience, and it is very relevant to photography. When looking at a photograph, we should be able to feel what it is like to be in the scene depicted by that photograph, what it is like to look at an object in real life, not through a piece of paper or on a screen. The realistic portrayal of textures suggests a tactile quality to a photograph. You can feel the temperature and the temperament of a place by looking at it. You can actually feel it in your skin, not just look at it. The eyes become an organ of touch. When removing the sense of reality from a photograph, you weaken this quality of qualia. You rob the viewer from the opportunity to experience what you experienced when shooting that photograph. And those film emulations do just that. They can make good photographs look cheap. They emphasize the form, the aesthetic, over substance. In some genres of photography, everything that is included in the title documentary photography, which is authored by the photographer, Those effects weaken the experience of the viewer. Just to give you a short example, this week I went out to the seashore on a rainy day and took some landscape photos, seascape, if you will. I did not try to make those photos look beautiful or sublime. I tried to reflect in them the way I feel these days. It's quite a foggy mood, I mean. In those photos, I tried to convey the clash between different natural elements, the war between water, land, and air. I wanted to convey that the sky and the sea are alive. I wanted you to feel like you're there through a realistic representation of the scene. But still, I wanted you to feel the mood, the unclarity, the messiness. Please tell me in the comments below whether you feel any of this when looking at those photographs. I feel that had I tried to make those photographs look more vintage, more stylized, they would lose some of their power, because those aesthetic packages tend to draw attention to themselves. And my intention in making them, showing them, might have been diluted. Film has its own advantages that cannot be taken away. The structure of grain is more random. It tends to give surfaces a more tactile feeling, texture. It is more organic, if you want, because of the chemical process involved in developing it. However, those advantages have very little to do with color reproduction. The truth is, digital photography is much better in representing true-to-life colors, especially since you can easily process those colors and make them look like what you see in your daily life with your native vision. The color of film is much more rigid. It is imprinted in the physical medium itself, in the emulsion. And even back in the day, I don't know of many instances where photographers or printers played with the color balance of their film stocks. Please share your thoughts on film emulation, on the look of film, whether you think there is something that can be included in this term and is cohesive. Share your thoughts on whether you like the idea of film emulation in digital photography, whether it gives photos a quality that cannot be achieved otherwise. Right, I think that will do for today. I'm sorry for the slight rant. If you like this channel and wish to support it, please consider buying me a coffee. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.